Hello again, this is John Paval with Access Arts Live. I was with you just a while ago and I'm back again. So here we go with this weekend. We will have 3 operatic and choral works for you, live streaming free of charge, including Mozart's Cantata David Penitente, Bizet's Carmen, and Wagner's Die Götterdammerung, the Twilight of the Gods. I mean, what a weekend, all of it free of charge. So let me put up the image which goes with all of this great great stuff we have coming to you. Look at all that. Okay. Let's get down to before I say anything else, I want to remind you, if you're watching on Facebook, just like the video and we'll invite you then to follow us. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe button. And if you watch us on any of our other 4 platforms, please don't just like the video, like us, follow or subscribe to Access Arts Live on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads. And in return, we promise we're getting to you more than 1,000 live performances online in 2025. With we get you the dates, times, and the live links. We're already well on the way to achieving that goal. So it's going to be a terrific year for those of us who are following on a regular basis. And what you're going to find increasingly is that if you do follow us, some of the same performers and conductors and orchestras are doing interesting program which echoes one another. So let's get started with the first of this weekend's 3 just lovely choral and operatic works. And I'll give each one a proper announcement. You know, I do these proper announcements so that we can cut out clips as reels, which have to be like less than 20 seconds if you want them on Facebook. Saturday, February 22nd, the Potsdam Chamber Academy and the Elbphilharmonic Vocal Ensemble play and sing Mozart's major cantata, David Penitente, with 3 great young soloists and even more Mozart too. That's the formal name is the Kammer Akademie Potsdam. And I think, do I have them in the picture? No, I don't have them in the picture. I can show you a separate picture of them. It's let me show you the orchestra just so you'll have seen everybody. Well, I think I do have. Yeah, here's a clip of everybody. There you go. That's the 3 soloists above the NDR vocal ensemble. That's what they call the Elbphilharmonic vocal ensemble, and then the Potsdam Chamber Orchestra. It's quite a group, and they're all talented and know what they're doing when they're playing Mozart. Now this will be on Saturday, February 22nd, typical European time, 8 in the evening in Europe. Late lunch, 2 in the afternoon on the East Coast. Early lunch, 11 in the morning on your Saturday morning, or a brunch, I guess, Pacific Standard Time. It'll be on YouTube, free of charge. We give you the link. We'll also give you a link to the NDR Vocal Ensemble so you can look them up a little better. Now, what will they be doing? They're not only going to do the David Penitente. They'll start out with the Mozart's Kyrie in D minor, Crucial number 341, Moorish funeral music, Crucial number 477, the Litanie de Venerabili Altari Sacramento, Crucial 243, which has separate soloist in it that I'm not underlining for you. And then they will do the cantata David Penitente, Crucial 469. Now, what is this cantata? Well, a group called the Vienna Tonkünstler Society, which was a kind of a pension fund for widows and orphans of musicians and things, commissioned a work by Mozart. Incidentally, he availed himself of the occasion to make sure his wife and children would be covered by the fund. And anyway, and he still had not completely finished his terrific Mass in C minor. And so what he did was, since nobody in Vienna knew this Mass in C minor, he just took the Mass in C minor and put a different text on it. But he added in a couple more arias, which we are told are real bravura arias. I have never heard this piece done before, although I have heard the C minor Mass, as many people have. So this is a very interesting piece. And if you like this, that Mass by Mozart, then you're going to love this because it's the Mass plus more. The soloists include Liv Redpath, and she's a young what they call a soprano leggero. She's been doing debuts in the last couple of years since 2023 at places like the Royal Opera House, the Staatsoper Hamburg, the New York Met. She spent the summer in 2024 with the Santa Fe Opera, playing Zerlina in Don Giovanni and Sophie in Der Rosenkavalier. Then there will also be Jane Archibald, who's also a soprano. She's a native Canadian. She left Canada to become an Adler Fellow with the San Francisco Opera and went from there to the Vienna State Opera and has debuted many coloratura roles there. She performs all over the place. I mean, if you want the list, the Met, the Bavarian State Opera, the Paris Opera, La Scala in Milan, Teatro San Carlo, Carnegie Hall, the Barbican and etc. Okay, so she's top of the line. She's not a young and breaking through. And then the tenor is Sebastian Kohlhepp, who's he started out as a choir boy, and then studied with Hedwig Fassbinder, whom I don't know, in Frankfurt am Main. Went on to the Karlsruhe State Theater, the Vienna State Opera, and the Stuttgart Opera. He'll be doing some debuts this summer at the Salzburg Festival as Flamand and as Idomeneo with the Köln Opera. And he's also going to be appearing in Wagner's Die Meistersinger von Nürnberg at Teatro Real. So those are the three singers you have. It looks to me like an interesting program. If you like Mozart, I think you'll really enjoy this one. So we then move on to Sunday, at which 6 hours apart, you get two different operas. I mean, if you want to spend the whole day just doing opera, well, you can do that on Sunday. And there are the singers that you're going to get to listen to. Sunday, February 23rd, Yadr Bignamini and my hometown Detroit Symphony Orchestra celebrate the 150th anniversary of Bizet's Carmen with a concert version stacked with singers who are either rising stars or proven talent. This will be at 3 in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time, which is noon on the West Coast, 9 in the evening in Europe. There's a 15-minute intro beforehand. But I think it's probably recorded, and I'm not even sure if it's live streamed, but it probably is. Well, it's streamed, but we really only promote the live streaming. The cast of this includes Janae Bridges as Carmen, Russell Thomas as Don Jose, Aileen Perez as Micaela, and Paolo Schott as Escamilla. Let me tell you just a little bit about each of these people. You can see them pictured there. Janae Bridges is a 2-time Grammy Award winner. She's a mezzo, but both of those Grammys were in productions. I think they were, the awards were to the entire production. The one was the Metropolitan Opera's production of Akhenaten in 2022, and the other was the Buffalo Philharmonic Orchestra doing a recording of Richard Danyanpour's oratorio, The Passion of Yeshua. But, you know, Grammys are Grammys. What can I say? She in 24, she was Lucinda in the world premiere of Intelligence by Jake Heggie at the Houston Grand Opera. She's appeared in Berlioz's Romeo and Juliet with the Boston Symphony Orchestra. She's been in John Adams' El Nino, conducted by Marin Alsop at the Met. And I could tell you a lot more about her. She went to the Curtis Institute of Music there and the Manhattan School of Music. The tenor Russell Thomas, he's known for Verdi and Puccini roles. He recently did an artistic residency at LA Opera where he sang Fire and Blue Sky, which was a song cycle composed for him by Joel Thompson. So he must have something going. If they're, that's the mark of success when somebody composes something for you as a musician or a singer. Then Aylin Perez, I think she's been around. She has a debut album out called Poème d'un jour, Poem of a Day, French and Italian songs on the Opus Arte label. She'll be debuting as Madame Butterfly at the Teatro di San Carlo this year, which she will take up again at Houston and the Teatro Real de Madrid. She'll do a debut at the Met as Florencia Grimaldi in a new production of Daniel Catan's Florencia en el Amazonas, and as Micaela in Carmen again. And she'll be singing the title role of Tosca with the Hamburg State Opera. And then you have the baritone Paul Schott. He's both an opera singer and an actor. He's born in Sao Paulo to Polish immigrants, and he's done a fair amount of singing in Poland as well. He has some connections in terms of his training and experience there. He won a Tony Award in 2008 for Best Actor in a Musical. He was in the Broadway revival of South Pacific at the Lincoln Center Theater. So, he knows how to both act and sing, which I think is wonderful. There are not a lot of performers that I think can really do that with credibility. So that's the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, the concert version of Carmen at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then later the same day, at I think 3 p.m. European time, let me check my records of that. Yeah, 6 hours later, so probably about 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours after Detroit finishes up, Operavision has a great live stream for you. Sunday, February 23rd, Operavision live streams free of charge Wagner's The Twilight of the Gods, the Götterdammerung, bringing to a grand finale La Monnaine's acclaimed staging of the entire Ring cycle over the past few years. Yeah, La Monnaie in Belgium has been doing the Ring cycle. This is the concluding chapter in that in Wagner's enormous piece. This is Sunday at 3 p.m. European time, 9 a.m. on the East Coast, 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So, and I have those times reversed. It's 6 hours earlier. I'm sorry, I get confused. Yeah, Europe is 6 hours earlier than the East Coast and Detroit would be. So 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Europe comes first. If you want to watch both and you're in America, you're going to have to get up at 6 a.m. to watch the first of them. But if you're a real opera lover, it's Wagner. It's the Twilight of the Gods. Let me tell you about the cast, which may motivate you to want to tune in. Those are some scenes from the actual opera. That is what it's going to look like if you want to know what it looks like from those photos. Now, if you want to know more about the actual singers, I do think I have some pictures of them, yeah. And I tried to get at least a couple of the pictures where they'd sort of be in character. Now, I can't tell you about everybody that's in the cast. We're trying to keep these down to like 15-minute live streams. But I can tell you about some of them. Now, what happens, in case we have followers who don't know this opera, which is entirely possible, we're in the closing stage of this long 4-part Nibelungen Ring cycle. And there are these 3 norns at the beginning, kind of like the 3 witches at the beginning of one of the Shakespeare plays, whose name I will not mention because it jinxes things. But anyway, and they weave this rope in which past, present, and future are all interwoven, and it breaks. And all that's left is the twilight of the gods, the end of it all. And so there are several different themes from the earlier parts of the story, raising questions like what happens to the hero Siegfried? Will Valhalla, the home of the gods, even survive? And what happens to Wotan's daughter Brunhilde? What becomes of her? Well, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you that because it'll ruin it for you. But Wagner spent 26 years finishing up this final part of the Ring, so it really thought through. It's conducted by Alain Altinoglu. He was, if you follow us, he was conducting Mahler's Fifth with in a Frankfurt radio orchestra live stream last February 15th, last Saturday. And it's directed by Pierre Audi. And those two have been sort of paired off doing this whole cycle for La Monnaie in Belgium, which is the big opera house, if you don't know that. Siegfried is played by Brian Register. There's a picture of him in the upper right-hand corner. He's an American Helden tenor. That means a Wagnerian tenor. He got his breakthrough. His breakthrough. Let's call it his signature role is Tristan in Wagner's Tristan und Isolde, which he's sung around in various different places. He's also sung Eric in the Flying Dutchman with the Pittsburgh Opera House, Parzival with the Spanish National Orchestra in Madrid. This year is his debut singing Siegfried under Alan Antinoglu in Pierre Audi's new production of it. So, but he will also be redoing Tristan and Isolde this year. Brunhilde is played by Ingela Brimberg. She's a Swedish soprano who has worked with all the top conductors around the world. She has a lot of experience in the whole series of dramatic soprano heroines. She played Brunhilde in Die Valkyrie for La Monnaie as well, and now is back in Götterdammerung doing this again. She'll also be playing. She'll be debuting. Well, she debuted last year as Katerina Izmailova in Lady Macbeth. She's sung Leonore at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. She's been in the Flying Dutchman at the Cologne Opera House. She's got a list of engagements as long as Armin will be here for an hour if I talk about all of them. Gudrun is played by Annette Frisch, who's described as one of the most established lyric sopranos of her generation. So she's got a lot under her belt. But she still makes debuts. She'll be making a role debut as Idamonte in a new production of Mozart's Idomeneo at the Staatsoper Stuttgart. This is her debut playing the role of Gudrun in the Götterdammerung. She appeared as Freya in a production last year of Das Rheingold, which was directed by Romeo Castellucci. So, and she's been in things like The Merry Widow, The Merry Wives of Windsor, etc. So she's been around the block. She's got a lot of experience, sung in a lot of places. And finally, the last one I can tell you about is playing Gunther is Andrew Foster Williams, who's a British guy. And he really started out basically singing stuff more like Bach and Handel, but he's been expanding his credentials in recent years, playing Don Pizarro in Fidelio at the Théâtre an der Wien and with the Philharmonie de Paris. He's been Captain Balstrode in Christopher Lloyd's production of Peter Grimes, and he's in this production of the Götterdammerung also. As far as playing the role of Gunther, here's what Hugo Shirley wrote about him in the Financial Times. He said, Andrew Foster Williams is outstanding as the easily manipulated, nervy Gunther. There's a host of other people in this production that I really don't have time to tell you all about in detail, but you can look them up on Operavision. This will be free of charge on Operavision. So you get 3. This weekend, you get 3 free of charge, top quality choral and operatic pieces. You get the Mozart, David Penitente on Saturday, then earliest in the day, start at 3 o'clock European time, you get the Twilight of the Gods at La Monnaie, which is a top opera house. And then 6 hours later, you get the Detroit Symphony Orchestra, bringing you some really rising star young singers mixed in with more accomplished singers, giving you a concert version of Bizet's Carmen. What a weekend for those who love the vocal arts. I remind you again, I want to remind you again, if you're watching this on Facebook, do click on, just like the video, and we'll send you an invite to follow us. If you're watching us on YouTube, click on subscribe. If you're watching us on our other 4 platforms, don't just like the video, like us, follow or subscribe to Access Arts Live on X, TikTok, Instagram, or Threads. And we promise you in return, you get live links to more than 1,000 live performances online in 2025, most of which will be free of charge. And those that cost you something will cost you an awful lot less than it costs to get in the doors of orchestras, opera houses, theaters, or dance halls anywhere on this planet. Thanks for tuning in. We will have the specific links to these operas and also to this week's recommended orchestral works together with this live stream, which will stay up for you to consult and enjoy. I'm John Paval with Access Arts Live. It's been a pleasure to chat a bit with you, and you're always welcome to leave comments or criticisms. I want to put a little shout out to Claudia Ochoa Cruz, who has just been an angel, liking our videos and encouraging me to keep on with this. She has her own website to bring you interesting information about classical music in particular, and I commend that to you. And the next time I do a live stream, I hope I have the presence of mind to track down the link to her blog so I can give it to you before I sign off, which I'm about to do right now. Ciao for now. Have a great week with these. Have a great week.